Welcome to Kathryn Raaker's World. Innovation, culture, adventure, fashion and health, artists, destinations, traditions. This is Kathryn Raaker's World.
Hi, this is Kathryn Raaker of Kathryn Raaker's World, and Let's Just Talk, our syndicated television show and our syndicated radio show. And I am so honored to have Sam Anthony, the founder of YourNews.com. But I'm going to give you a little background on him before we start interviewing him. Sam Anthony began his academic journey at Northern Illinois University in September of 1984, where he studied for 2 years before embarking on a dynamic career in the financial industry. In February of 1987, he first secured a position at Blinder Robinson, a broker-dealer firm, where he honed his skills and gained valuable industry experience. Actually, Sam Anthony went from his financial career into a different career that he's going to be talking about, and how he formed YourNews.com. So he went into digital media and in 2001. So that's important to know, because YourNews.com is probably the hottest thing out there right now. And being in the newspaper industry in the years before I turned into television and radio, it made me excited to find out about what Your News was all about. And now I'm an avid supporter of YourNews.com, and you should be too. So I want to welcome him to my show today. Sam, it's a pleasure to interview and to find out about this exciting new venture that I'm very excited about. So tell me a little bit more about you, Sam, and welcome to our show.
Well, thank you for having me, Kathryn. I'm so glad to be here. I'm excited like you are, because we have a lot of exciting things happening. A little bit about me. I started this a long time ago as an idea, and it's evolved over years to what it is today. So what you see today, you never saw years ago, okay? It's all, it's a learning curve, right? Since I was the only player, I had to figure this out all on my own. I certainly have a partner, another founder that helped me with it. But what you're seeing now is the byproduct of all the failures that we did. Now, to tell you a little bit about me, I live in Florida. I moved here, God, it had to be 35 years ago, I think it was.
Right.
And I came here from Chicago. I grew up in Chicago when Chicago was not what it is today. Okay, it was actually very nice back then. And when I came here, I just said to myself, why do people live in cold climates? Because it was so beautiful here. I'm like, in Chicago, you feel like you're living in a freezer, right? You got to get out of the cold weather all the time. The snow falls, you got to shovel. Here, it's January and, it's 80 degrees. You're either fishing or diving or playing golf or something like that. So, I came down here a long time ago and just never left.
Well, I've lived in Florida as well. I met my husband in Florida when he was a young rep, and he was playing golf 6 days a week, and he rested on Sunday. Oh, he did his laundry on Sunday after going to church. So, there are parts of Florida that I love, and there are parts of Florida that have palmetto bugs, terrible, and I don't like them. So, but it's a gorgeous place, and you have a super governor, I gotta tell you. And so the two places I want to go, I think, are Florida or Texas, because I love Texas. Absolutely love it. So tell me, why did you decide to And it was an idea that you came up with. And how long had you had the idea for your news, Doc?
Well, it started a long time ago as an idea. Me and a couple other guys got together and we believed that the newspapers were eventually going to go out of business. And this is when nobody bought that story. Okay, you couldn't sell that to anybody because newspapers were just coming off the heyday. So what we did was we had to figure out a platform, like how is this going to work? Okay. And we went through multiple iterations. Ultimately, I lost a couple partners. I had to pick up another one. And then we embark on still trying to figure it out. It took a long time. What you see today is based on, as I said, all the failures that we had before. So now it makes sense when I tell you this, but we didn't know what was going to transition before. So we had to figure it all out. And it it took some time, I will tell you that, but now we've got it pretty dialed in, and there's always room for improvements, but the industry kind of came full circle our way, which made it a lot easier. So we were very early and in this space to
Mm.
figure it out. And right now we're the only players in this space, and I'm looking to scale this up into a behemoth.
Well, that's really important because people, and it's funny, every person I interview since I went on to yournews.com, I just shout about it because I love it. Because being in the newspaper industry years ago, Sam, I'll never forget going to the Newburyport Daily News, and everybody looked at me, especially then, as she's a newbie to this industry, and we are going to play every joke on her possible, and they did. And I'll never forget using a wheel to do advertising. And I mean, this is before computerized everything happened, right? When I saw YourNews.com and you explained it to me, I thought, wow, this guy's ahead of his time. Absolutely. Let's get this out there. And the more I learn about it, the more excited I get. So, how did your family feel about what you're doing?
Well, it my family is always supportive with what I do. They're always championing our cause. And by the way, this was not designed to be a political product,
Oh,
okay?
I know.
Just to give you a little background, years ago, I never thought the media was actually lying to us. I thought I mean, what's now, wait a minute, okay? I never figured that out until Trump won. And then, the snake reared its head. You just saw it. I mean, they were just coming out and manufacturing stuff and running with it. And even when they got caught in the lie, they continued on. So I just always, I tried to look at everything logically and I said, what's their upside to lying? I mean, these people want to tell the truth. But when Trump came out and won the election, to me, that validated everything. Then I went, oh my God, these people have been lying to us the whole time. They've actually picked a side. You can tell. And once somebody has picked a side, they're going to do anything they can to get their candidate elected. So that's when it, to me, that's what opened my eyes. And this is where, the political side comes in, simply because right now the legacy media kind of controls the narrative. Now we're certainly building a massive force like you and other people that are on Rumble. Okay, we had the tech giant shut everybody down, so we had to figure out how to get the messaging out. What I am is a platform, keep in mind, and our product is the exact replication of the physical world of the newspaper industry minus all the print and distribution costs. But what it does is it puts the power of the press back in the hands of the people where it belongs, and it gives them their freedom back. So you can now contribute. Um, the the content creators, and I just want to go into something here, Kathryn, because you know how news organizations are aggregators of information. Okay,
Right.
so for the audience that may not know how a newspaper gets put together, I'll explain it to you. People that have news will send a press release to the media. So if you're a nonprofit and you're having an event in Chicago or Phoenix or LA, you send a press release to the media.
Mhm.
The news organizations aggregate all that stuff. They decide what they're going to air or publish. So what our platform is it's an aggregator of the identical content. but we have the ability to print it all because there's no cost and we can organize it by subject and geography.
Right.
So to explain, somebody's Little League game would be sports news for a city, like Schaumburg, Illinois, or Boca Raton. But the high school football game is still sports news, but the content's going to be distributed to the market. And we define markets by television DMA. However, it could be just to a county or 3 counties. And then obviously you have the Monday Night Football game, which is still sports news, but the distribution is national. So what we are is a content distribution platform with massive scale. And what we're doing is we're bringing all the country's information under one roof, under one umbrella, and creating one uniform media. And for those who may not understand that, information is power. He who he who controls all the information has all the power. That's what makes this mainstream media because it's very broad. I could have a story about the high school football game in Montana in a county. I could have content coming in, like we just had something about a museum that was closing in Chicago. That's lifestyle news. So all the content you see on websites like The Hill or Breitbart or the Gateway Pundit, which are all fantastic websites, are all politically they're all political websites, right? You're not coming there to watch to find out that a museum closed in Chicago. Okay. We're very broad. Now, what happens is the content comes into our platform. Once it gets published to the subject and geography, all that stuff starts getting shared on social media and it drives all new eyeballs coming to it. So the best example I give people is if somebody posts their kid's Little League game, there's a 100% chance grandma and grandpa are going to see that story because it is going on Facebook, right? So that's what I hope I explained that good. And by the way, we do audio and video too. We do audio and video content.
Well, I'm going to say one thing before we take the break. And
Sure.
when you were talking about the news organization, I lived overseas, so I was listening to some of the stuff that was coming across, and immediately I knew that it was almost like brainwashing to what was coming out from the United States. Because when I would come back to the United States after living in Turkey, Spain, England, and Singapore, I was like, where are these people? Do they realize what they're putting out there? Do they realize that they're being fed stuff? That's when I realized it. So on that note, we are going to take a short break and we'll be right back with Sam Anthony and YourNews.com. Your News, knows everything. So we'll be right back. We're back on the Kathryn Raaker's World and Let's Just Talk with our guest today, Sam Anthony of YourNews.com. And I'll tell you, if you're not up on YourNews.com, you should check it out. So, Sam, now that we get an idea of how things are put up, and I mean, it's it used to, up until now, it's been very difficult unless you know the producer or the editor putting stuff in a newspaper situation. And I stopped getting the newspaper a long time ago because I could get it up on my website and I could read it and decide if I wanted to believe in it or not. Okay, so tell me, how has it been since you have, and if I understand this correctly, 475 reads a day, am I correct?
What do you mean by reads?
In other words, if I went up there, and that's how many people are reading the website, is that correct?
Oh, well, last year the total amount was 5.4 million people that consumed over 100 million articles. Keep in mind, a lot of them are conservatives, seeking out alternative news, and we publish content that the mainstream media won't publish. So
Right.
we get a lot of traffic.
You get a lot of traffic. So that's the other thing that I would like you to do is send me that, so that when I'm talking to people about the product, right?
Okay, sure.
I've got the whole gamut. And it makes a difference, especially to my clients.
Mhm.
That's what I want to tell you. They are thrilled with the idea of being out there in a different format. You know, because there are people that will watch television or they'll do it up on YouTube or wherever that I am, but they also want another format. And this is like completing my format. Does that make sense?
Of course it does. Like, they call it legacy media for a reason. Now, they were the old guard. And in order for you to get stuff on their, let's say on any newspaper website, it was extremely difficult. You had to know people, right? So you were in PR, right? Or you are in PR, right? So you
I
have to
am
know the editor or people. You have to push stuff to get it through. Well, the world is changing. It's not the way it is anymore. Okay. I mean, you're not going to get your stuff up there because their product is all about, call it quality control. And I have somebody that I knew that worked for CBS 12 in West Palm Beach.
right.
And when he saw the submit your news button at the top of our website, I was sitting with him one day. He said, like in disgust, you allow people to post stuff to your site? I said, yeah, don't you? Now I knew he didn't, but I just want to get his response. He
Right.
goes, we would never do that. I go, and that's why, Bob, you're going out of business. Okay. It's because the people want this. They want to have a voice. They want to be able to
Right.
be heard.
That's
And you guys won't let anybody in. So, as I always tell people, the legacy media is going to be gone. It's going to be replaced with a product that would, this is, now I'm going to tell you my opinion, but I'm pretty confident this is the way it's going to all
all
work
right
out.
ahead.
Nothing on, well, right, but I have to preface it with it's my opinion, okay? But the legacy media, as we know, has a limited lifespan. Okay. They're not going to survive. Now, if you know anything about the web, nothing local works. Kathryn, there's been newspapers that have tried to go web only and they all collapsed. Okay.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you why. Nothing local works. If Facebook wouldn't work if it was just for one city, neither would Twitter or Amazon. As a matter of fact, 100% of them are global. Facebook, Twitter,
That's
LinkedIn,
right.
Uber,
That's
and
right.
they're all global. Okay. Because for us to go global, I could take the zip code table from England and I got England. If I want Canada, you got Canada. That's how fast it is. It's just a zip code table upload and the framework's already there. So most likely the future of news, we all know is going to be online, but it's going to be a global media giant by zip code with a social component where the public can interact and post news, views, opinions, and classifieds and basically share in the narrative on a local level. And it will have a monetization model for news reporters and audio and video content creators that do this for a living, just like YouTube, where they can share in the revenue. So I could take an out of work news reporter that used to write for a local paper in Miami. And maybe he did the sports beat or the politics beat, whatever it is. And he could write a story about the high school football game. We're going to publish that content in the sports section in his market. So it'd be Miami-Dade. And what they do once it gets published is he shares it on his social media pages to his followers, the people that want to consume his content. They come to our platform to consume it, and we sell the ads for them, and they get his percentage of the ad revenue.
That's wonderful. Let me ask this one question. Right
Sure.
now it says local, national, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever see international coming up into, I know you're doing it by zip code, but are you also adding that into your platform as a situation where it says international or global?
World, same thing. World news. We do
World
world
news.
news. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
it's there already.
It's there already. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm learning it.
Yeah. So when you mouse over national news, you get all the categories: sports, business,
Yes.
politics,
Yes. Yeah.
entertainment. Okay.
Right.
Well, when you mouse over local news, you get the same categories for the most part. Okay. So if you do you have a local event, that's going to go under events locally, right? Or entertainment news. If Kenny Chesney's coming to your market, that's not national news. That is local news in your television DMA, the end. All right.
Right.
And so we could publish that content to the category and the geography that it's relevant to. That's it. And the
So
public can interact.
do I need to send you zip codes?
No, no.
That's good.
Yeah,
because
not at all.
I'm all over the place, as you probably found out, right?
You are. So you have, which I love the cooking stuff because we have a food and wine section.
I
And
know.
so and so to the audience, the reason our product is different is because we could have millions of contributors that are producing content, submitting it, and driving traffic to their content. Remember, and I'm going to give you I think I may have told you this the other day, but there are, if you have LinkedIn Navigator and you type in freelance journalists, and to me, freelance means I'm looking to make money, right? Because I don't have a job, or maybe they're looking to make additional side money.
Mhm.
There's now almost 500,000 people on LinkedIn that are out of work that call themselves or that call themselves freelance journalists. It's
Yeah,
crazy. The
I
the
know.
industry's imploding and nobody's hiring.
Well, the funny thing is, I said, because of my radio and television shows and
Mhm.
being everywhere I've been, I have a lot of contacts. Everybody, everybody wants me for my contacts. And I'm not being bragging, but the name of my company is the Tri-State Connection. Overseas, it was Connected International. Okay.
Right.
So I am so excited about this because now I can let all of my international clients, people that I've worked for over the years, right, actually let them know that they can do what you have. And that's important to me because I keep all my contacts and I protect them. Does that sound weird?
Well, no, they're your contacts, right? So, you
Right.
want to make sure that you're the one feeding them the proper information.
And you know what's really funny, Sam,
What?
is I get people that write or that I've been in radio with that don't know how to market themselves in any situation. What's your secret, Kathryn? I could answer phone calls all day on that, but I kind of limit it because I'm too busy, just like you.
I really do, and I'm very excited about the advancements that we're making, and I'm optimistic that this is going to grow into something really big. And my interest is in really, it's really in bring democracy back to the United States. I mean, bringing news reporting the way it used to be. I mean, I could remember years ago when people believed in the media. They did. And all that stuff has changed. Very few people actually believe what they're telling them.
What is your goal?
Well, the goal is to build the largest news platform in the world. Okay. It's all inevitable anyway, meaning what I do is inevitable. It's not going to be stopped. It's either going to be me or George Soros, one or the other, but somebody's going to do this. And the reason I say that is the legacy media, we've had this conversation, it's going to be gone. Nobody even disputes that. Even they know it, right? And it's not because they're lying. That certainly doesn't help the cause. It's because the younger generation doesn't watch TV. They don't listen to radio on the dial. They don't watch or read magazines or newspapers. Everything they get is on demand.
That's right.
Everything. So what we've done is created a platform that has mega scale. And what I mean by mega scale is when you log into my site, we know where you live right down to the zip code. So we can serve an ad to one zip code. That's cool around a specific type of content. So, but the closest thing to me would be Facebook, not because we're in the same business, it's because they sell ads around user generated content and they could do it to one zip code and everywhere in between. We can do the same thing. It's just different content. It could be your kid's little league game. It's not going to be your kid's baby pictures.
Now this
That's why.
now this is a free service, isn't it?
It's a what?
A free service to go on and be able to post. Am I correct?
Well, anybody could post. So anybody can create an account and they could post. The content does not go live. Somebody has to look at it because we control where the content gets distributed and we control the subject. And the reason we do that is because we sell the ads. And if I'm talking to a guy that sells sports memorabilia, he wants to be around sports related content. And as well as I do, everybody's kid who played Little League, they're going to think that's front page national news.
Right.
So, you have to put it in the sports section to their city. That's where
Right.
it belongs.
Thank you so much for joining me today on Kathryn Raaker's World and Let's Just Talk. Would you give your website out, Sam, for me?
Yes, it's www.yournews.com.
Okay, and thank you so much for joining me. And don't forget to go to our website at Kathryn Raaker's World, The Chef You and I, and Let's Just Talk. So we'll see you soon.